Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Today we are headed to the most unanticipated dining review that we've had, which is Rainforest Cafe. There are two of these on Disney property. One is at Animal Kingdom theme park and one is at Disney Springs. We are going to the one over at Disney Springs, quite honestly, just because it's closer for us. So.
Yeah, it's not that Rainforest Cafe is a bad restaurant. I know many of you probably like Rainforest Cafe. We have liked it in the past. It is that it is a chain restaurant that is available in strip malls across the country. And our kids have liked it in strip malls, not strip malls, like shopping malls. And it's just like, there's two on Disney property. I mean, that's how much of a chain it is.
Yeah.
And it's just, if I'm coming to Disney World, this is not, I don't want basically an Applebee's with animatronics in it. That being said, we committed to trying every single table service restaurant on property. We are only trying one of the two Rainforest Cafes. So here we are, we're at the end of the table service restaurants on property. And we're gonna go do this. We're gonna do this for you. We're gonna ask the waiter or waitress what they recommend, and we're gonna get something that they recommend. I'm gonna try to keep an open mind, even though I've eaten at a bunch of not a bunch, but a handful of Rainforest Cafes. We've never eaten at one on Disney property, so there's that.
We haven't. That's correct. We have not. So we're gonna go with the best attitude and ask their opinions and get something. And you know what's one thing that I don't love restaurants that have like a novel for their menu, so much so that it's like dabbling in like every single type of food out there. That I feel like that's where like you can't do anything fantastic because you're doing all these things just average.
I also don't know that we'll get any sort of beverage here just because
they're very like kitschy,
they're very, over the top, you know, very like fruit juice heavy theme to Rainforest stuff. They've got pastas, they've got ribs, they've got burgers, they've got just basic Applebee's fare, and we're gonna go give it a shot. So. Are you ready?
I am. I have my cute new Donald shirt on, so I'm happy here.
I'm repping the new college bro in there. All right. Well, there's no time like the present, so let's do this.
We have arrived and we got the lettuce wraps, the Korean lettuce wraps for our appetizer. I have to say I've never been served lettuce wraps with limp lettuce before. We'll see how this goes. So the flavor of the inside part, like the chicken, the pineapple salsa stuff, the peppers, all of that is fantastic. The lettuce is like, has a lot to be desired. You know, usually whenever you have like a crisp lettuce wrap, the lettuce wrap kind of adds to the whole experience.
The lettuce is pretty limp, so.
It has holes in it.
Yeah, lettuce could be fresher. All right, our entrees have arrived. That was actually really fast.
Really fast.
So we're not even done with our appetizer and the entrees come out. They set us on a thoroughfare. Like, there's a cave that goes from one side of the restaurant to the other, and the pathway is right behind us.
It was really quiet for the beginning part, and I really liked where we were sitting, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Grand Central Station here. So
I know, it's also where they park the strollers and ECVs, like right behind us, so it's just busy right here.
Yes, it is. Okay, so our food has arrived. I got the Taste of the Islands. It has like a mango habanero shrimp, a coconut fried shrimp, and a tilapia, like a Caribbean tilapia.
Coconut fried shrimp.
The flavor is really nice on that. And the shrimp is cooked very well. The bottom portion, it's a little soggy on the underside of the fried shrimp, but everything else is good about it.
I'm gonna try your shrimp scampi real quick. There's a lot of clapping at this restaurant. That's happened like 5 times since we've been here. I don't get mango at all, but definitely has a little bit of spice to it. Not overly spicy, but it's cooked well. You want to try the fish?
The thing that I was most nervous about here was the fish.
It's a little dry, but there's no flavor. It's cooked okay. The pineapples don't really taste like pineapples.
I don't get any of the dryness. Like, I've had a couple of bites of it, and it's actually it's prepared well as far as like the cooked level. I'm with Dan though. I don't get a ton of flavor, and I don't know if it's because the other dishes were so flavorful that it just kind of overpowers this.
I got the barbecue platter, which has a quarter chicken, a half rack of ribs, slaw, and fries on it. It actually looks pretty tasty. Fries are fries. Would you like a rib?
Sure.
Ribs are tender. They're a little too tender. They fall right off the bone, so they should have a little bit of pull to them, but they shouldn't just like fluff off the bone, which they do. So I think they were a little maybe overcooked. But the flavor's pretty decent on them. Let's try the chicken.
That's a little dry to me.
Yeah, I mean both of these were cooked a little too long. So it's honestly about what I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, you get okay food here, not great. Close. I mean, like close to good food, but it's Applebee's. That's what it is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's I mean, probably a little bit of a spoiler, but it's kind of just straight up average. Like, it's not. Yeah. We are wrapping this up here. We are not going to get a dessert, and we will finish it up at home.
All right, we are back.
Before we get into this lovely review, if you're looking to plan your next magical vacation, please reach out to us over at Fantastical Vacations. We plan Disney destinations, Universal Cruise Lines, and all-inclusive resorts. I made myself giggle a little bit.
If there's any of you out there that absolutely love Rainforest Cafe and are waiting for a redemption story about how we went and loved it, just stop the video right now, because you're not gonna like what comes next.
I mean, it wasn't terrible.
It is, I'm gonna sum this up the most succinct, best way I know how. It is Applebee's with better theming.
Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. So let's break it down. Ambiance and theming. We decided not to get a beverage because I think we mentioned before, they're just kind of like, I feel like overpriced, watered down. They're never that great. So,
I mean, you get like a what is the Corona-rita? Like that type of thing, like a margarita with the Corona.
I'm not bashing a Corona-rita. I mean,
I like Corona-rita, but it's not like a drink program, right? It's not like somebody's back there like handcraft. I mean, they're making the drinks obviously, but it's not like a specialty beverage program. Right. This is just like, let's grab that fruit juice, make a hurricane. Let's grab that margarita machine and put an upside down Corona in it. There's just nothing special about it. So why are we rating them on this? Like,
yeah. So anyway, we skipped that. So we divided the ambiance and theming, which I think is good for a restaurant like this. So we'll start with ambiance. It was fine.
Let's start with theming.
Okay.
Theming is the better thing. Theming is why you go here. So same thing as T-Rex Cafe, right? The theming is pretty. This was actually slightly better than T-Rex Cafe. There were no animatronics that were covered in tarps. Go back and watch that review if you want to. Everything seemed to work. There is a rainstorm that happens in the Rainforest Cafe, like a thunderstorm.
And they put cute little Santa hats on all of the animals.
And then like there's different sections. There's like elephants in one section. We had the gorillas in our section. Every once in a while, like
I liked the gorillas.
Yeah, they kind of move and make the noises, which is fun. The thunderstorm is pretty cool. You know, the lights dim, and then it looks like lightning. And the
I was just thinking the one behind us, it would go. I thought it doesn't really match any of the noises, but it was fine.
Anywho, this is why you go here, right? Like you have little kids, you want them to experience like a fun meal and be engaged like in the meal while you get some calories at least. I mean, and that's why you go. And I get that. I understand. We have been to Rainforest Cafes before. Our kids loved them when they were little.
No, Aiden loved them. Jennings always was scared of the fire, the storms.
Theming is pretty good, right? Yeah. There's aquariums all over the restaurant, which is kind of cool. You know, and they're actually well kept up. Like you remarked on it. Like
I commented.
They clean their aquariums very nicely. Anyway, and there's a whole gift shop attached to this place, so it all ties together. You can spend all your money on, you know, things. We gave theming a 4.
All right. Jump back to ambiance. So ambiance was fine. I mean, it's a little loud in there. I really think every other table, it would have been better than where we were. Like where we were, I probably would have rated it less than average just because we were kind of right on this corner that like this path, it was like this path where everybody went to get from like the front of the restaurant to the back of the restaurant.
It was an intersection between the bar, the other side of the restaurant, and 2 dining rooms. There shouldn't have been a table there.
And it is where they park the scooters and the strollers. So I mean, there were multiple times that I was like, oh, because I thought that they were gonna run into me. So anyway, but it wasn't like the best location. I don't think that they should have a table there. All that to say.
But if you weren't sitting there specifically, you probably had a slightly better experience.
Yeah, so we kind of rated it on what other people's experience probably was as opposed to our own.
And both of these are subjective, right? So theming is kind of, you know, what do you prefer? Like I don't really prefer animatronic gorillas or elephants, but I recognize that other people do, but I'm not gonna get about a 5. Like it's not something that would draw me back. And same thing with ambience. Like this is, it's an Applebee's. So go to Applebee's and either add in or subtract out your favorite animatronic rainforest animal.
I guarantee you'll pay less at Applebee's. So ambiance, we gave a 3. Service. So service was fine.
Service was weird. It started off slow, and then the lady finally came by, and she was very, very nice. She gave a couple recommendations. And then sometime throughout the meal, it switched, and we got a new server. And then she came back once, and then you asked her for some wipes, like hand wipes, because they brought me one because I ordered the meal with ribs on it, but we were sharing, and she never brought those. And then the guy came back a couple of times.
It was all very weird.
And he filled up the waters once.
Yeah.
You know, it's average.
Yeah,
it's
it was just straight up average.
It's not, I mean, it's nothing like over the top. I can't really ding them on anything.
Right.
But except not bringing the wipes that you asked for. But other than that, it was fine.
Yeah, so straight up average. So we gave them a 3. Finally, food.
Food wasn't great. We didn't expect it to be, so we got exactly what we thought we would get. But the last time at T-Rex Cafe, I think I got a Cobb salad, some kind of salad. And I wasn't blown away with the salad because it wasn't done great, but it was still a salad and it was fine. So we wanted to get like more different types of things. So we got 2 sampler platters.
I think Aiden really liked his burger at T-Rex, and so that kind of bumped it up a little.
So you got a seafood sampler platter. I got a barbecue sampler platter. I'm just gonna talk about mine real quick. So mine came with a quarter chicken, so a leg and a thigh, and they were dry, which is kind of hard to dry out dark meat, right? Dark chicken meat, because I mean you're cooking to the breast is 165 and the dark meat's a little more forgiving. Anyway, they were dry. The sauce on it was okay, but the meat was dry, so I didn't really eat that. The ribs were overcooked. I know when people say fall off the bone, it's supposed to be amazing, but that's not how ribs are really supposed to be cooked. Like, if you cook ribs, you want to be able to cut the rib away from the rack, which it was a half rack of ribs. You want to be able to slice a rib away and then pick up the bone and have meat on it. And then when you bite it, it needs to give like a little bit of a pull, right? Not like tough, like you shouldn't be gnawing it off the bone, but a little bit of pull. If you can't cut the one rib away from the rack without all the meat falling off of the bone, it's overcooked. It's
or
just,
take a bite without being like, okay, now everything's in my hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's just overcooked and should be in a different dish, not just, you know, Otherwise, you wouldn't eat it off the bone. It needs to stick to the bone at least a little bit, and it just didn't. So they were falling anyway. The flavor was okay. It was slathered in the sauce. That was fine, but they were just not. They were both overcooked. And then the ribs were on top of fries, which I think the fries would have been good, except the ribs like made the fries soggy. And then the coleslaw was fine. It was whatever. So
the rib I had of yours, it had like some. I don't know if they were fatty spots or I don't know. There was some different kind of texture in there that I didn't love. So anyway,
I didn't eat a ton of it, but that wouldn't surprise me. So.
Anyway, and then mine, the coconut fried shrimp was it was the shining star on my plate. It had great flavor. However, it was soggy on the bottom. So like all of them were like just sitting on the plate. So I don't know what happened, but for whatever reason they were soggy on the bottom. So the other shrimp, they were cooked fine. They were really spicy, but I didn't get any of the like mango piece of that, the like Caribbean kind of flair to that. The rice was pretty dry. And then the tilapia was like flaky, but it had no flavor whatsoever. Like I just felt like I was eating nothing.
Oh, but the appetizer was the appetizer was actually the best part of the meal, I think. The filling was pretty good. The lettuce cups.
Oh my gosh.
Was sad. Which is the easiest thing to do. Like just look at. I mean, there's no cooking involved. You just.
If you go, oh, this piece, that's not good. Like if you could wiggle it and it just kind of is.
Or if it has holes in it,
Or if it has holes in it.
I mean, it's meant to be a vessel for the filling.
So we gave food a 2. I mean, it was fine. It was not worth the $34.99 that I paid and the $36.99 that Dan paid for our dishes. So it definitely, that brought it down some.
They did do a 10% annual pass discount, so ask for that if you choose to go. Anyway, it is what it is. Like it's not horrible. Nothing was disgusting. It was just every component of everything, there was some flaw to it and should have been done better. It should not have come out of the kitchen that way. It wasn't, again, I don't send food back because I'm afraid of what I will get in return. And honestly, it was just like, not bad enough to send back, but also not good enough to rate any higher than a 2. I mean, it was a little bit subpar, right?
Yeah. So if you add all that up, divide it out, it comes straight up average at a 3, which I think is where it falls. I mean, like if this is your cup of tea and this is where you want to go, I think it's fine. I mean, it's got good theming. There's gonna be something on the menu that everybody likes because it's a wide variety of food. So, but it's not gonna be one of the best restaurants in Disney Springs.
It's not one of the best restaurants in the marketplace, I don't think. Like it's just anyway, I don't want to bash it too much. It is what it is. It's straight up average for us. But yeah, like you said, enjoy it if you go, because it's a fun show.
It is a fun show. We got to see the rainstorm twice. If you are liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.